It might seem like a dream to be one of Hollywood's next big movie stars, but you might think twice about taking your next acting class after you hear about what it's like to work with some of their biggest directors. I'm your host for this one, my name is Joss Bedard. Thanks for coming back to Top 10 Beyond the Screen. Today I'm going to dish out 10 directors that no one wants to work with. You do not want to miss out on that, but first make sure you come say hi to us outside of YouTube. You can find our social media links, they are down below. And if you're new here, stick around until the end because we run a blooper reel and we do comment features and you don't want to miss out on that. But for now, I say we get right into it. Starting us off at number 10 is James Cameron. The man behind the iconic movie The Titanic earned himself the nickname Iron Jim throughout his career. He takes his job seriously, which isn't always a bad thing, but sometimes he goes just a little bit too far. One thing he can't stand is interruptions, especially if they come from a cell phone. If someone's cell phone went off while filming, he would actually nail the phone to the wall. Like literally. That is one way to show that you are being serious. His ex-wife, Linda Hamilton, also revealed that when she filmed Terminator with him, he threatened to fire people who took bathroom breaks. Sounds crazy, right? And incredibly illegal. Well, other actors came forward and said that while filming The Abyss, he would ask them to pee in their wetsuits in order to avoid wasting time going to the bathroom because they had to keep getting in and out of the water. Up next, number 9 is Michael Bay. The director is rumored to be a complete egomaniac who is very controlling to a point where his actors actually feel insecure walking onto his sets. A few different Hollywood actors have come forward with their work experience with him, and one of them was Bruce Willis, who filmed Armageddon. During an interview, he said that Bay screamed the entire time and made it, I quote, an unpleasant experience. Josh Duhamel worked with the director on the Transformers movies and said he doesn't care about anything other than making a good movie, even if that includes hurting people's feelings. Which he seemed to do to actress Megan Fox. We can never forget the drama that went down between the two of them after she called him the Hitler of film. She said that he was a nightmare to work with and compared his on-set behavior to both Hitler and Napoleon. Two people you never want to be compared to. Swiping the number 8 spot is Stanley Kubrick. People won't deny the fact that he is a true genius. He's been given the title after some of his greatest work like 2001: A Space Odyssey and The Shining. But when talking about his on-set behavior, there's a reason that he's good at what he does. He's actually known for being very precise and doing whatever it takes to get the scene the way he wants. Some actors have said he becomes obsessive about getting the shot the way that he envisioned it, which would just be incredibly draining for an actor. Stanley actually holds the record for the most takes on a single scene setup. While shooting The Shining, one of the scenes had, drumroll, 148 takes. The worst part is that he had other scenes from the movie that they filmed a dozen times, and he ended up going with the first take in the final cut of the movie. Not a horrible quality to have, I guess, as a director. Like, I respect that of him, but as an actor, yeah, that would be a little bit much, and that would be incredibly draining. 148 takes. Cruising into number 7 is Lars von Trier. The man himself is the first to admit that he is not an easy person to work with. During the Cannes Film Festival, he actually called himself a Nazi, which is enough proof to know what type of director he is on set. Though some of his films have earned the title of artistic classics, many actors have said they cannot stand working with him. Paul Bettany said that Lars wouldn't even speak to him while directing him in Dogville, even though that is a huge part of your job. Like speaking to me to direct me. And no one could forget the feud between Lars and Bjork, which came during the filming of Dancer in the Dark. Things were so bad that the singer said she refused to go to set for 3 days and even wrote a letter to Nicole Kidman warning her not to take the lead role in Dogville. But the director has no shame in his game. During an interview, he actually said that one regret he has from the film was that he wasn't meaner to her. Seems like a pleasant man. In spot number 6 is John Ford. He's earned himself the title of being a legendary Western director who is known for being the only person to make John Wayne cry. To say the director is tough as nails would be an understatement. It's been reported that he would actually bully, mock, and completely degrade his actors until they had a mental breakdown. If you think that sounds bad, let's not forget the fact that he actually punched Henry Fonda in the face while filming Mr. Roberts. Apparently Fonda had issues with the script and approached the director with his concerns. Rather than hearing him out, he simply stood up and socked him in the face. That is more than enough reason for not wanting to work on his set. I don't care what movie it is, I am not taking a punch to this face. Halfway through the list, at number 5 we have Tony KAYE. He's been called one of the most dramatic and ruthless directors in the business, and he once called himself the greatest English director since Hitchcock. He's known for his crazy battle against Edward Norton, who worked on American History X with him. The two of them feuded with each other to a point where the director spent $100,000 of his own money to talk poorly on the actor in trade magazines. He even went as far as removing his name from the movie and demanded that it say it was directed by Humpty Dumpty instead. And he was being like dead serious, by the way. When they didn't follow his ridiculous Humpty Dumpty demand, he sued them for $200 million. At the end of all this chaos, he was unsuccessful with his attempt to remove his name from the credits, but he did completely disown the movie from his own personal life. And no, they did not use Humpty Dumpty. Rumor has it he also tried to get them to use his dog's name as the credit, and that didn't work either. What a fool. Moving on to number 4, we got Roman Polanski. He made news headlines while filming Chinatown for his feud with actress Faye Dunaway. While working on the film together, Faye says that he would constantly scream at her saying, "Say the effing words," if she would get her script wrong. Like other directors on this list, he's also famously known for apparently not permitting his actors to take bathroom breaks during the filming of scenes. I don't understand why people aren't letting their actors pee. Things went a little too far with this rule that Faye made headlines after she filled a coffee cup full of urine and actually threw it at him in between scenes. I mean, that is absolutely disgusting and insane, but I do kind of get why she was frustrated. Putting his on-set behavior aside, he was also accused of drugging and raping an underage girl back in 1977 and then fleeing to the US to avoid jail time. So that is just a few reasons why people might stray from working with him. And valid ones of that. In the third spot is David O. Russell. He's pretty much the worst of the worst if you talk to some of the actors who have worked with him on a film set. It's hard to hate him when he makes such great movies like American Hustle and Silver Linings Playbook, but when you're the one making the movie with him, it's a lot different. He's notorious for treating his actors poorly, and there's a variety of examples to prove it. George Clooney filmed Three Kings with him and said he was so disrespectful to the crew that he tried to stick up for them, and David punched him in the head and they got into like this huge physical altercation. You also might have seen the famous YouTube video footage of him freaking out on Lily Tomlin in I Heart Huckabees and calling her derogatory terms that I cannot repeat. But it starts with a C.
I'm just trying to help you. Do you understand me? No, you're not. I'm being a collaborator. I was trying to help you figure out. Hey, bitch. I'm not here to be yelled at.
And one more quick example, Amy Adams also said that he made her almost cry every single day while filming American Hustle. Quite the list he's got going on there. There were so many, I could only pick 3. Taking over the number 2 spot is Oliver Stone. You know, he must be a tough director when Blake Lively tells David Letterman, "I survived Oliver Stone." He's known for being a pretty intense guy and maybe just a little too intense at some moments. Some have said that he's a prick when he's on his set, but it's only because he knows what he wants and is just aggressive about getting it right. Actors have said that he gets into their personal space and lets them know exactly what is expected of them, and just not in a kind and respectful way. Richard Dreyfuss worked with him and called it the worst experience of his career, claiming that he is fascist. Jamie Foxx also admitted that while filming Any Given Sunday, Oliver went up to him and just straight up told him, I quote, "You're just not good at all." Maybe he's just like a bit too blunt or a bit too honest with his opinion, but I can definitely see how it would be difficult working with someone that intense. Finally at number 1 we have Alfred Hitchcock. His movie The Birds was a huge success, but the main star Tippi Hedren called him a mean man and claimed that he sexually assaulted her on set as well as other actresses. She made some serious allegations, saying he used his power as a director to force women into bed with him and threatened to ruin their careers if they didn't. And that is exactly what he did to her. Alfred was said to be obsessed with Tippi and treated her almost like a child, belittling her on set and punishing her if she didn't accept his sexual advances. He kept her under a 5-year contract even though she wanted out of it, and he didn't offer her any other movies within the 5 years and also wouldn't allow her to work with other studios. So she basically just had to sit there and do nothing for 5 years. He had full control over her career. Alright guys, that is our list of directors that nobody wants to work with. Let me know in the comments if you agree with it, and fire a thumbs up so I know that you enjoyed it. But for now, I'm gonna end our time together by responding to some of your comments. Dashia James says, James Franco just seems strange to me. He ain't really a great actor either. Well, you know what? I do understand why he seems strange, but I have to give him credit. I do think he's a good actor. Brandon the Mainline Diesel says, damn, I haven't heard a peep out of Kyle Massey in ages. Right? To be honest, I didn't even know like he had Instagram and stuff until recently. And yeah, he looks the exact same, by the way. Chrissy Moss says, Argh. You're everywhere. Just watched you on IO. I'm not sure if that was like a bad Argh or like an excited one. I'm not sure. But yes, I'm also on IO as well. Hannah Teresa says, is this the same company as IO? It is so similar. Yes, you are all starting to figure this out. We are sister channels. We are all one company, but sister channels. And the hosts just kind of move around and we all have multiple channels. That's what's happening. Lisa M. Phelps says, why do the Olsen twins remind me of the twins from The Shining? They creep me out. Yeah, I mean the twins from The Shining are very creepy. I don't find the Olsen twins creepy because like I love them, but I understand. Alright guys, I'm getting out of here. That's all I got. Subscribe if you haven't already, and also ring that bell so we can hang out every day. But for now, here is the bonus content. Be literate. Yep. But it's hard to say. Lars von Trier. Or any face. None of you should take a punch to the face for a movie.